Welcome back to the Performance Circus. I am one of your lovely hosts. I'll give myself a lovely title, Mitch Creek, and this is the lovely Bec Cole. Bec Cole, I just see you sprucing up the lips a little bit, making yourself look even better.
Yep, Mecca Max Gloss Boss.
I have one of those actually. They're phenomenal. I love the glow on them. Now, look, we've had some phenomenal people on this podcast so far, and I love what we're doing. It's absolutely awesome. I hope everyone at home is having a tremendous experience. Now, we've just had a beautiful podcast with the one and only Mike Zarafa, pretty boy. He's done such wonderful things in his life. He's got some incredible opportunities coming up, and hearing him talk about his day-to-day efforts, his relentless approach to training, his no days off in 58 years of living. He is so motivated, so determined that it's wake up, train, come back and eat, train, repeat, train, sleep for 4 seconds, train again. And I left that podcast just thinking like, holy shit, I need to do more. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm utilizing my days as best as I feel like I can. But I thought this is a fantastic episode to talk about, I guess, a few things. Time management would be definitely the first thing. The accountability for our work and what we are actually putting time and intention into, which we've spoken on other episodes about where we place our intention. And then sometimes the motivating factors behind that. So I know, like, I'm happy to kind of share that I started off as a basketballer when I was 18 years old professionally with Adelaide. I played 8 years there. I went overseas. I did some stuff in Germany. I went to the NBA for some summer league, didn't get picked up, came back, went to go to Germany again, went to the NBA. All of a sudden, it works out, and then it doesn't work out. I come home and I feel like the whole way I'm like, I'm working hard, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then I meet someone else and I'm like, they're working harder. Okay, well, how do I incorporate this? And then I meet someone else and I'm like, well, they're working harder again. Or they're working smarter. And maybe they're not working as much, but they're working with more intention. Mm-hmm. Then the light bulbs start to flicker. I start to meet my high performance coaches and different people in the world. And I think now I'm back in Melbourne. I'm trying to get myself settled. I'm trying to do more stuff off court and be less of a basketballer 24 hours a day, 365. And I'm trying to be Mitch. Just me. That's it. That's enough. That's all I have to be. So I think now it's transitioning off court, but how do I manage my time? I was a pretty late to bed person. Midnight would typically be when I have my sleep, and then I'd get up at 7:30, 8 in the morning. I'd have breakfast, you have your shower, you go to training. You're at training by kind of 8:45, 9. You're off court at 12:30. You've got promos, lunch events, stuff with the club in the afternoon. You get home and you're pretty tired.
Yeah.
And you go, you know what? Job's done, sweet. Go to bed, wake up, and do it all again tomorrow. Now it's like, okay, 8:15, my sleep timer on my phone goes on. So all my notifications are stopped. And admittedly, I'm pretty bad on my phone. So I try and minimize my use. So 8:15, phone goes to sleep. See ya. And then all of a sudden it's like 9 o'clock, I'm trying to be in bed. At least by 10, I can be somewhat making an effort to be completely wound down. I got my incense burning. I got my diffuser on. I've got the feels going.
I won't get upset then because there's multiple times I text you and you don't text me back. So I'll just hope it's because your sleep timer on.
Yeah, because I'm just, I'm grooving to the incenses. But I really try and shut down a lot earlier now because I have so much more that I'm doing. I have a couple of different businesses. I have my own training and mentoring. I've got Wolfpack Hoops. I've got the podcast. I've got basketball as well.
Your schedule is nuts. Anyone, I would love for you to just put it out there because before we started this, I looked at it, physically gave me anxiety, and I was like, how?
Yeah.
I don't get it. But this is what's so great is like letting people know, so busy, continue. Like how does the time management work?
So me trying to optimize what I want out of my life. I don't need to make billions of dollars and millions of dollars. I need to support my family, myself, to cover rent, bills, debt, investments, and opportunities. Opportunities is a choice. Choices only come around when you've worked hard enough to have the choice. I can't go on a holiday because I haven't put enough time into making enough opportunities, whether it's financial, whether it's connections, whether it's an endorsement to travel, to train and play in another country. I have to be strategic about it. So I've started to place a lot more intention on my time. Now, my time now is very valuable. 10 o'clock, I try and at least be winding down. 10:30, I want to be asleep. I want to be up by about 6 a.m. every day. Now, I get up, I go to my ice bath. I have my day planned out pretty much down to the T, and it's sometimes pretty tight. But my time management is so important to me now that I try not to waver. That is like going to the bathroom. that is having a shower, that is brushing your teeth, that is exercising, that is training for basketball, that is on par with not wavering from that. Because as soon as I don't do this one or two things today, I have to do it tomorrow, and I don't have time tomorrow because my shit is backed up. So managing that, managing the mental, managing the stress, those are the important things for me that give me opportunity and choice. Now, they don't always work, but it gives me an ability to have a choice, have a chance. Maybe, it's an opportunity, try and take it. Then all of a sudden I get it or I don't, and I'm like, what did I learn from it? How do I go back to the drawing board? I write it down on my dream board that I have next to my door, and that's got everything. It's got my intentions, it's got my business hopes and dreams, and how successful it's going to be, and what I want it to achieve, and how it's going to make people feel, the quality of the service. That's what's important. So I think I really wanted to invigorate people listening, thinking, what are we doing with our days? We might have families, we may not have families. We may be independent, we may be dependent on others. Who knows? But you can now set an intention on what do you want out of your day. Your day wants and needs and non-negotiables are based upon your goals. What are your goals? Have you written your goals down? Do you have any goals? I saw this thing and it was write down 10 things in your life that you want to achieve in the next 12 months. 10 things. So we can do this at home as an exercise. You write down 10 things that you want to achieve in your life. Out of those 10 things, one or two of those things are going to stand out the most, and you pick those two things. You put them on separate bits of paper and you sit there and you go, okay, now I want you to write how you're going to achieve it, why you're going to achieve it, when you're going to achieve it, what I need to learn to achieve it, who can help me achieve it, how can I help someone else achieve this along the way. Those are the intentions we need to start to set ourselves. Then that goes on to another board. That board is now full of these ideas. How do I do it? Your brain's going a million miles an hour. And that's how I feel when I wake up sometimes. I get this thought and I'm like, ooh, magic thought. I
think that's you every day. You're like, ding, ding, ding.
That's a really exciting feeling though, because I try and teach kids and who are people I mentor is it's not about being the best or making the most money. It's about the curiosity and the excitement of learning and then putting it into action. Seeing something season and actually come to fruition is the most exciting thing for me now. There's some things that I've done that I've made zero money on, but it's given me the most satisfaction because I'm like, ooh, that really helped someone. That was my idea and now we've made it something really special. That kind of thought process is what is most exhilarating for me right now. So as much as I'm a professional athlete on my time, because there's certain times I'm a professional athlete, and there were times where I was so consumed by that's how I identified. I was Mitch Creek. I was the basketball. I'd be like Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix, Adelaide 36, at Brooklyn Net, Mitch Creek. No, it's just, my name's just Mitch Creek. Thank you very much. And it took me a long time.
Thank you very much.
It took me a lot of time to call myself that and shed some of those personality traits. So that's my, I guess, deep dive into where my time and where my intention is at. And I think everyone can really take a lot from doing that themselves, not doing what I do, my time or anything else. It's figuring out what works for you. How do you best manage that into your schedule and not make excuses? You want to get better rest, know what foods to eat before bed during the day, space your meals, have plenty of water, whatever it is, do your mindfulness, do your breathing, go to bed, have a good sleep, wake up, big glass of water, go do your ice bath, go do whatever you need to do, figure it out. It took me a long time to kind of half figure this shit out. And I'm still not even tapping on the door, right? I'm not even at the surface yet. And there's so much more to grow into. So finding out what works for you is important. Finding out what doesn't work is also, or if not, equally as important, because the more you start bringing into your life that doesn't really serve you the way it really should, it starts to hinder your progress into whatever it is you want to achieve. So they're kind of my learnings and lessons and the ups and downs I've had of it, but it's not always the destination. And we always hear it's the journey, it's not the destination, but it really is. My greatest memories is actually the little baby steps along the way to make to the NBA with my family, the road trips, the long drives, the country Vics. That's the cool part. Getting to the NBA was sick, but I didn't stay there for very long. It's okay though, but I made it there and I got there and I earned myself a contract. But I don't look at that contract being everything, because it just started a new journey. And then I started to drive that journey, and now I am here where I am today, and I'm pretty proud of that.
And you should be proud of that.
Thanks. Hopefully I can get someone to manage my schedule.
But seriously, don't give it to me. That's too much work. But I couldn't agree more with what you're saying, and listening to Michael Pretty Boy Zarafa, what a great name that is to have. You listen and you're almost like, you go away from that being like, oh, whoa, am I really not doing enough? Like, you're grinding. You haven't had a day off. You've been grinding 365, 24/7, 52 weeks in a year, 56, not sure. Anyways, so it's just like you leave being like, oh my God. But this is the thing, what you've spoken on is that everyone is different and you need to find what works for you. So what works for you might not be the recipe for me, and that's okay. And also I think it's trial and error. Everything we learn or experience, yes, it might not work for us, but hey, that was a lesson, that was a learning. Okay, how do we figure it out, change it, so now I'm better than I was yesterday, or I have more time on my hands. But I remember one of the big motivations for me was, being at the AIS and hearing a coach say, if you're not out there getting better, someone else is. And I think just entering the Australian Institute of Sport, where we both were, I had already grown up. I think this just was the way I was, so competitive, like even playing board games, I want to win, I want to be the best, but I was always willing to put in the work. Like, that's just how I was. And I think, that comes from my parents as well. And even to this day, Dad and I still have competitions, whether it's, sporting or just like mucking around at the family home, whatever it is. But I think just knowing, I was like, damn, I don't want someone out there getting better than me. Like, let's go. And I think that's where my journey probably started, of the real motivation for success, and I guess what my why was and what the purpose was, finding, okay, I'm not just doing this to do this. There's a reason behind it. There's a backing. Of course, I feel like that's when you probably come the most busiest that you are, and you are away from friends and family. And then, you come home, you enter the real world of, okay, I'm playing in the WNBL. I'm not making that much money. I'm having to have a side job. I'm also studying on the side, which girls still do to this day. But for me, I think it was nuts that I had to figure out, I guess, where I wanted to put my time. And family was big, friends was big, and then obviously training was a number one priority. And I was very blessed. I had my parents being like, hey, you don't need to do this job so you can be training more. We will back you because we believe in you. We know these are your dreams, so go for it. But as long as you're training, if you're not doing that, then you can go have your job.
Go and work your ass off in two fields. And
I understand that not everyone has that. So I'm super blessed, super grateful that happened. Then I got to a period, like you said, you're thankful for that journey, all those things make you the person you are today. And then I got, you get busier again. And you also grow up. And I think you realize, we've spoken about this, your handful of people you can probably count on one hand who you really care about, really trust, and want to spend your time with the limited time you do have. And, I made some cuts in my life that were massive. And I found that took up so much energy and it took up so much time. And, finally when that was released, I knew I had done the right thing. Was it hard? 1,000%. But was it the right thing for me? Yes. Was it still the right thing for me today? Yes. And surrounding myself with like-minded people who, one, are going to challenge me and make me better. I want that. Two, who are going to love and support me. I need that. And then also, I guess, who just have an understanding of your life. So like with time management, like you said about eating and sleeping, I'm so big on sleep. Like minimum I want to get is 8, but 9 to 10 is my usual. And I always speak to Alice. Like, we will speak every day. And if we don't, we're still texting every day. And what I loved is yesterday I was like, hey babe, I'm so fried. We had trained, we had meetings, saw your face bloody 12 times that day.
Yeah,
had a beautiful dream about Mitchy Creek. He's entered the dreams. That's why I never spent too much time with you. But I was like, the fact I can say that and be like, hey babe, sorry, I'm fried. Love you so much. I hope you had a great day. Chat to you tomorrow. And her response was, no worries at all. Hope you had a great day too. Love you. Chat tomorrow.
Yeah.
I haven't always had that, and the fact that I'm like, oh, I don't have the guilt of
It's hard to do that though. Like, I did the same thing. I literally did the same thing last night. I had my business partner and she's texting me and I said, look, you just sent me a big message and 2 voice notes. One was for 30 seconds and one was for 40-something seconds. And I said, I'm going to talk to you tomorrow. I am cooked.
Yeah.
And she was like, no worries, chat tomorrow, have fun. And that was it. And that was me growing up enough to be like, whew, all right, like, you know, I'm pretty tired. And I know that I need rest right now. Mm-hmm. And it was 9 p.m. Yeah. I was like, 9 p.m. I used to eat at 9 p.m. And to be fair, I sometimes eat at 9 p.m. But I go to sleep shortly afterwards because I know that's what's best for me in those moments.
100%. I just couldn't agree more with that. And that's why I feel like you need to have people around you who know that's okay. Because you need to be sometimes selfish and be the best version of yourself in order to turn up the next day and give someone 100%. That's not always going to happen, period. But those people who know you, who work with you, know, hey, if Creaky says he's busy, if Bec says she'll call you tomorrow, we know they're going to do that because that's the type of person they are. So if they're saying they need space or they need time, I'm going to allow that for them in order for them to, you know, wake up and be the best version. But you know, you talk about what you eat and your recovery, like that is to a T me. You know, I've finally found the recipe, you know, probably 3 years ago. We have injuries, right? They happen all the time. But for me, if I implement like too much sugar, whatever that is, I can feel my knees blow up. So, you know, I might have a week where could be that time of the month, I'm on my period, all I'm doing is craving one big block of chocolate, right? Mm-hmm. I will learn my lesson from that night being like, oh, I'll just have like a cube to have been 3 rows. That's a fucking lie, isn't it? To wake it up.
Jeez, that's hard. No one's ever had a fucking single cube and said,
no, they're all lying to you.
I feel great now. I'm going to bed. You eat the whole fucking block in one bite. The cube is the block. That's the real hidden.
That's where you go to dark chocolate. But here's my point, right? I would wake up the next day and be like, oh, I know I took my chewable vitamin C tablet of my anti-inflammatory, but I can feel that wasn't working for me. Okay.
Life's about balance. Yeah, one block of chocolate equals 75 vitamin C's.
Right. Like you weren't good enough or you weren't your best self. Okay, learn from that, Bec. Now I force myself to like dark chocolate. So if I feel like a treat, I have that at night and I wake up the next day feeling better. And it might be whether you eat lots of meat or you don't. Your recovery, it's like, okay, do you do that right at night before you go to bed? Do you do it right after training? But just finding out what works best for you and remembering it's not going to be the same as the person next to you. And I even had to check myself after we spoke to Michael because I was like, I know I need 1 day off a week for a reset in my body. I know my body needs that period, but also mentally. Yeah. Mentally, you need a day off. We're so busy. And I really felt with something that you said earlier about I like the fact that I have other focuses going on because when I'm all about basketball, you have a bad game, you think that's all you are. I scored 1 point.
Yeah, you compartmentalize it and you break it down, you break yourself down.
100%. Like who I am as a person is not valued on how many points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, whatever I got that day. So growing up again, it just takes time. We're still learning, even though we're elite athletes and, you know, towards the twilight of our career, you know, even realizing I was like, no, that's okay that I have a day of rest physically and mentally because I know I need that and I know I will be the best version of myself. But yeah, the fact, again, I even came out of that being like, no, check yourself, Coley. You're okay. You're doing what's right for you.
It's hard to balance as well. I know, like I started Wolfpack Hoops this year, like right before the season started, my brain went.
Great timing.
I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I wanted to help mentor young men and women, little boys and girls, they, thems, whatever they are in this world. I wanted to go and help affect their lives with basketball, learning about all the individual skill developments they have to learn. And then I was like, okay, what else? There's more to it. There's mental health, there's resilience, there's anxiety, there's goal setting, there's review processing, there's daily implementation. Oh, now the parents probably should know some of that. So I designed all these things to put into a little module and I was like, this is what we're going to teach. And I took on the task of if I want to do this, I can't do it after the season because typically I go and play overseas. So when can I do it? I'll do it after that. And then I'm like, well, I've got a 40-day, 30-day window, maybe, if I'm lucky, maybe 20 days, 20 to 30, where we start preseason. So when am I going to do it? And I was like, you know what? Let's dive in the deep end. and let's just go every single day off this entire NBL season. Let's run a camp.
Yeah.
Let's go to every country and regional area. And that's what I did. And I was like, this is probably not the greatest use of my time management skills. But I would finish a game, I'd get up early, and I would drive to wherever. Portland, it was Terang, there was everywhere. Maui, Phillip Island, like everywhere you can think of in country regional Victoria. We've done like 14 camps now, and it's been phenomenal. Like, it's been so exciting. The first couple of camps literally didn't even break even. Like we literally were losing money. And I was like, this is okay. Like, we had 15 people rock up to an entire camp. And I was like, that's okay. It's not a failure. We've actually helped 15 people because I know the quality of the service and the effort and intensity I was giving every single person that was there that day. And that for me is when it started to become really rewarding. And I knew I was doing it for the right reasons. Then you go, you know, every day off, we had one day off a week if we were lucky. And every single day off, it was either a Wednesday or typically a Sunday. And every single day off until 2 weeks ago, like this is 3 consecutive months of no days off. And I was like, then we did the Zarafa podcast and I was like, why am I whinging? This guy's just done years and I'm complaining about 3 months. And in those 3 months, I've actually been able to affect, we've done nearly 1,200 kids in camps. And I'm so proud of that because I now have a database of 1,200 kids that I can drop a complete module to. I can drop workouts and videos and I can help them. I can be accessible to them. That is me now using my time wisely and saying, okay, I'm not doing it for any other reason except, yes, it covers and supports itself as a business. But we are giving so much value to these kids that hopefully they get the opportunity to do what we do. Mm-hmm. And this is amazing. But this day and age is a lot harder to survive and live in than it was when we were their age. And then when my parents were their age, then my great-grandparents, you know, they were dodging bombs and, you know, like the markets are crashing and then inflation and then everything happens and then, you know, you go through school and then now we're getting through school and then these kids are going through school and now there's AI and phones and all these crazy distractions. I just want people to be able to go, okay, what do I need to focus on in order to achieve whatever it is that I want to achieve? And using your time is the most valuable commodity. That is the wealthiest asset that we all possess. Now, we all have the same amount of time. What we do with that time, the intention we set and the focus we have on those usable hours, minutes, seconds, that is what separates you from being ordinary to extraordinary to fucking shit. Like, you have a choice where you want to be. You are the own creator of your future. There's no one else that can really do it unless you go and win that $200 million Powerball, which I did not win, but I won $72. Like, I'm not going to be a bazillionaire off $72, but what I can do is set intention to be like, I'm going to provide value. I'm going to use my time very, very fucking wisely. And I'm going to place different amounts of time in different things in my world at different times. Some days it'll be 20, 30% of my whole day will be focused on this. And then next 2 weeks, it might be 50%. Because I have the available energy stores and time and focus to do it because other things have settled down a little bit. So, yeah, I think just for people that listen, I think this is really valuable because I know you've done an incredible job at it and you'll continue to find ways to use this and learn more about it as well. And I know I am just scratching the surface of using my time, using my intention, using my motivation to help me towards my goals and my dreams for not just myself, but my family and those that I get to help. So take the time, remember those. It's a little exercise that I did and it helped me really focus on something for 12 months. And then if I go, you know what, it hasn't worked and I don't really enjoy it that much, start the exercise all over again. Write 10 things down. Select the things that stand out most, just 1 or 2. Then how, why, when, who, all those things come into effect. Then you put it on a board. Then hopefully you've hit the ground running. You can put time, love, care into it. And then hopefully, and I think it's going to come to fruition for you that it'll grow into something really special and you'll be very proud of it. And so will a lot of people around you.
It's really beautiful. And I love that, you know, you found a purpose and you shout out to Wolfpack Hoops because because you've really done something great and you're sharing it with people. And like we said, this is a space we want to learn. We also want to give advice and you're giving 31 years of what you learned and giving it to these young kids. So that is absolutely amazing. And I feel like anyone who's not involved should definitely check that out. But Yeah, I think today was again, another power episode where is find your purpose, find good time management. Remember, don't judge yourself to someone else. Yours is going to be different to mine. Use it wisely, be the best version of yourself that you possibly can. And, I think every day you will be one step closer, I guess, to getting the most out of yourself each and every single day. So if you have any tips or tricks on actually how you use your time management or what you think really can make your day more successful, please comment below, because I think that would be great. Creaky and I don't know everything.
I got no idea.
But
I'm proudly sponsoring myself, saying I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm trying.
But we're just shedding our light, and remember how important you are. And I just think this is the Performance Circus. We're Mitch Creek, we're Bec Cole, and we're talking and diving into so many exciting things. And today it was about, time management and how we want to use that. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment, like we said, with any ideas that you have, and we'll be chatting again the same time next week.